A 40-year-old man named Anthony Antoine from Potter's Extension is currently having a troubling experience that he says casts a shadow over the justice system in Antigua and Barbuda. He says that men, particularly in cases of domestic disputes, face systematic biases that leave them vulnerable and without recourse. Following a court order based on allegations of adultery and domestic violence, Anthony found himself abruptly removed from his home, a place he once shared with his family.
The past few years, since about December 2022, on the 7th, I was put out of my house, an order by the court, which my wife applied for, my ex-wife I should say, applied for. This order was basically for domestic violence. Until this day, I've never faced any challenges by attacking my wife, by doing anything that, that she had applied for. But unfortunately, on the 7th of December 2022, I was placed out of my home. Until then, I'm still out of the home.
The ruling, which he says seemed to prioritize one narrative, has led to devastating consequences. Now divorced, Anthony says he continues to pay a mortgage on a home he's barred from living in. Anthony is left questioning the integrity of a system intended to protect both parties.
I'm currently divorced now, which I'm still actually paying for the home, and till this day, nothing. I find that the justice system here in Antigua is just, lack of a lot of stuff, because even when I was placed out of the home on December, I've been to court several times in 2023 over and over, and still nothing. I've changed several attorneys, and down to the final last attorney, that is when I actually got my divorce granted to me. But it is just that for today, my living is just still hard, because reason why I say that my living is hard, because I am still out of my home, still paying for a home. I'm now paying maintenance for a child, which I understand that a child must be covered when it comes on to maintenance. But I find, as I said, the justice system here in Antigua needs to, do a lot more better when it comes on to men, because there's a lot of men out there who have been going through challenges like this within marriages, and have been put out of their home unfairly. I've been in an unfaithful marriage, and for today, I am here and it's still nothing.
Meanwhile, Anthony says he never laid a finger on his ex-wife. Instead, he says he's the one who made reports to the police after he was physically attacked by her.
I do recall in October 2022, we had an argument, and she actually attacked me within the house, the marital home that we were actually living in. And the next day I went to the police station. I reported the issue, and the officer never took my report. The officer looked me straight in the eye and asked me if I'm afraid to move on. A few weeks after, that same said officer was at my house with another senior officer because of a situation that happened at the house, where my ex-wife's sister came there and threatened me that same said Saturday.
Anthony says he continues to support his daughter financially, pay for a house he doesn't live in, and has had to move in with his sister, which he says placed him in a financial bind. He says the system has treated him unfairly and seems to have more leniency towards women.
My story is basically about the challenges that men, not only here in Antigua, that are going through, men anywhere, because I can probably guarantee that, most men would not do what I'm doing right now by talking out. And there are a lot of men out there that are going through exactly what I'm going through, or even worse. And because of how the system is being more lenient to women and against men, sometimes it is just unfair that there will be a man who, who will just think that he's doing everything that is right, and then somehow along the line now just got treated unfairly. So I just think the justice system could have done a little bit better, because as I said, being put out of the house for, domestic violence and never been asked a question in court for today, that is just unfortunate. And it is just even harder now that I'm out of the house, still out of the house, and I can see with my own eye that another, man or men can actually go to the house that I'm paying for and turn in a key.
Anthony states that many men are facing similar challenges, hoping that they will find the strength to share their stories. He says the situation has had a devastating impact on his mental and physical health.
Me being affected by this situation, it was actually giving me a lot of breakdown, very, deep depression and these kind of stuff. I've faced challenges where I actually had to take, several sick leave from work, and, being back and forth in and out of the doctor and stuff like that. Because, at first, going through the situations when I couldn't see my daughter for over a month, it kind of hit me very hard. It actually, shook me up. But as of right now, I can tell you, the situation, I don't really worry about it. I don't think about it, because I find myself just bypassing it. The reason why I bypassed it, because I actually just found forgiveness by just forgiving people, for the things that, that they have, do to me. Because, hey, at the end of the day, a man will be a man, human being will be human being. We ain't going to do everything right. We ain't going to always, tell the truth and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, the only thing that I can do is just to move on and forgive somebody, so I can live my life, so I can have that peace of mind.
Anthony says that while he accepts his fate, he wants the justice system to evaluate men with the same perspective it uses for women, demonstrating equal compassion in cases of marital and domestic disputes. This has been a production of Antigua.news. I am Charmaine Big Charles.